right, you guys. I know we started a little early. For those of you watching the show already, you guys are going to encounter the 777s. Both 777s late today. Neither one of them are here. The American 777 coming in shortly. I'll mention it again later, but I am spotting blind tonight. If you have Verizon Wireless, you know. But luckily for all of us and the show, the Wi-Fi hotspot works. So no real flight info tonight, unless you guys post flight info in the chat. Again, if you have Verizon Wireless, you know Verizon Wireless is down. Everybody's cell phones are in SOS mode. It's been that way since about noon. I do have it connected to our Wi-Fi, but I only have it connected to our Wi-Fi for emergency purposes. That way Miss Carolina can still get a hold of me if she needs to. You can't make any kind of phone calls, so it has to be through like Facebook or Instagram for Verizon to Verizon customers. So, again, we'll be spotting a little blind tonight unless service returns to the phones. I even try to make phone calls on the Wi-Fi and it does not work, so, because the phones are locked out. So the American 777 might be one of the next arrivals. I did peer into Flight Radar there a minute once I got here and saw that neither one of the 777s are here. Again, American should be on final or pretty close to it. So I wanted to start the show a little early so we can get the 777s in. Not sure how long we're going to go yet. Thank you guys for the updates. See, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm going to need here this evening. A couple of updates periodically on what's happening, what's coming in. Again, like I said, spotting blind tonight. Phone is indicating emergency calls only. Appears to only be Verizon Wireless. A couple of guys at work, we were talking about it. So I use a Tamron lens. It's really not good for this. If you guys have never watched any of our nighttime shows, it's, I don't know. It's mediocre. It depends on where we're at. If we're in a well-lit area, it does okay. But sometimes here, my biggest issue with plane spotting at night is I can't see. I have a hard time seeing the planes. And then we use a Nikon. Sometimes it gets fuzzy when we do these nighttime shows. It introduces a lot of noise. So I try to keep the ISO as low as possible for the shows, which makes it darker, unfortunately, but it does keep all the noise out. I wish somebody would make a 150 600mm f2.8 lens, if you guys know anything about lenses. I'd be out here many, many nights if somebody would make an f2.8 lens. So this is our 777 from London. This is why we started early. I got off work early today too. Had a whole lot of nothing going on for half the day today, unfortunately. Oh yeah, it'd be really, really expensive, and it would be very, very hard to get your hands on. We'll go back to the 777 in just a minute. We do have Southwest over here, turning and burning, as we have one on final. Oops. Yeah, $15,000. Yeah, exactly. So again, if you guys are just joining us, do not have. We're spotting blind. I'll have ATC back on in just a minute. Gotta let it charge. I forgot to take it into work with me and charge it this afternoon. So we're gonna let it charge a little bit here, and we'll get ATC back up and going. But again, if you guys have Verizon, you know what's going on. We have Verizon, so our cell phone is a paperweight. It is connected to our Wi-Fi hotspot for emergency purposes only. I can't receive any phone calls. I can receive text messages though, as long as I'm on the Wi-Fi. So try not to burn up any data if I don't have to. Because if we run out of Wi-Fi hotspot tonight, then we're in trouble. But it is funny that the Wi-Fi is working. The hotspot is Verizon as well, and it works. Just the cell phones don't. So Southwest touching down. We've got the American 777. Hopefully you'll be able to see it in the dark. Looks like a Delta A319, A320 touching down. This one probably from Minneapolis. Been a while since we've done a nighttime show. Hope you guys enjoy it. I know several folks have been asking when we're going to get back to doing nighttime shows. So the aperture only goes down to 5.6 at its longest length, but I keep it above that. I keep it well above that, because if I dropped it all the way down, all the lights would look fuzzy, and it just doesn't look good when you drop the aperture all the way down. So we keep it up about the same as what we do during the day. I think it's 1 notch lower than what we use during the day. John Lawson, good evening. Thank you for subscribing. Been off the air for nighttime shows for a month or two now. Cold weather, Wednesday nights. See how tonight goes. So, for those of you wondering about Sunday, I saw a weather forecast. I was sitting here looking at a weather forecast before we started the show. A couple of different model runs for this weekend. I'm hoping that the GSF model is the one that we get. Because of the fact, if you guys have been watching, there's a substantial amount of snow supposed to be happening. So we'll see. We'll see if we get any snow. It's supposed to be in the afternoon too. So in that regard, if it does snow, of course, Sunday's our normal day. We'll be out here to get the snow, of course. The Globe X hanging out over there. We've seen a lot of Globe X over on the hard stand or the ramp for general aviation lately. No. Unfortunately, our equipment can't get wet, but I have options to keep it from getting wet. I've been in some pretty hairy situations with the equipment and rain and wind and all kinds of things. So I try to do as much as I can to prevent. When I know weather's coming or whatever, I try to do all I can to protect everything. Sometimes it's harder than it should be. But I think for some snow, I think we'll be all right. Looks like we got somebody ready to go. Again, it's hard for me to see who's moving and who's not. Looks like a Delta 737 off to Atlanta, I'm sure. Thank you, Alan Lee, for the £5 super chat. Thanks for the stream. Everyone take care and stay safe. Absolutely. Looks like we got Frontier on the way out as well. Yeah, it'll be about as successful as a Wednesday night. Wednesday nights aren't very popular. They're okay. Some weeknights are popular, other weeknights are not. Oddly enough. A lot of times it depends on the traffic that we got going on. As you see, Frontier on the move. Zebra. Good evening. That one's off to Los Angeles. Again, if you guys are just joining us, I am spotting blind. I don't have flight radar tonight. I don't have a cell phone tonight. Verizon has dropped a lot of customers. today. I was honestly worried that we weren't going to be able to get the show off the ground, but again, the Wi-Fi hotspot working, doing its thing the way it's supposed to. Thank goodness. So again, we're waiting on the Air France 777, that one arriving late. Looks like one of the fire trucks moving about. Quick adjustment. What do we got going on over there on General A? It looks like somebody's on the move. One of the little trainers, it looks like. Frontier still headed out to the end. What time is it? 1 minute, 30 seconds. Actually 30 seconds till the official start to the show. All right, you guys, good evening. Welcome to a Wednesday show. Been a long time since we've been on Wednesday. Hope you guys are excited to be on and in the dark. I thought about doing this tomorrow, but it looked like there were those rumblings of snow tomorrow and all this, that, and the other, and I was like, well, maybe we'll do it on Thursday. All those predictions or models and everything changed, so we're here tonight. Again, Sunday, if you guys are following along with the weather, who knows what's going to happen, but there is snow in the forecast for Sunday. So we'll see how that works. Hopefully we'll get enough snow. Maybe we'll get some. Just enough to make the show exciting. I don't know if any of it will really stick, but we'll see. There he is. Little trainer going out. So again, if you guys are joining us at our normal start time, we did start about 20 minutes early for the American 777. Sorry, messing with some stuff. It's been a long time since I've been out here at night. That definitely made it look better, but as you guys can see, it makes it very grainy. It doesn't look like it on the camera, but when I look down at the computer, you guys can see all of the grain going on there. So like I said, it's been a long time since I've been out here at night. So this is the highest capability of my camera. I've actually never turned it up this high, I don't think. What do you guys think? You think we leave it there? Does that look okay? I don't know. Or does that look like crap? You guys let me know. I think it looks like crap. I'm going to take it back down a little bit. There we go. I think that right there might work. Yeah, come summertime, you guys will see us do more nighttime shows. Wednesday, there for a long time we did Tuesday, Thursdays. Then for the last year we've been doing nothing but Wednesday night shows. Wednesday, Sundays. So we typically, in the summertime, will run a day or two more than we have been here lately. So it's been a toss-up for us. It seems like I had a lot of things going on Wednesday nights, so I stopped doing shows on Wednesdays, and the traffic kind of slowed down for Wednesday nights as well. So we haven't tried a Thursday in a long time. We do have a Friday show coming up next week. It's supposed to be more snow in the forecast for then as well, so I don't know. That's for the Saturday and the Sunday. So we'll get ATC going in just a few minutes. Again, I'm trying to give that a few minutes to charge. I forgot to take it in to work with me today and charge it. I guess that doesn't look bad, does it? Sorry, again, it's been a long time since we've been out here at night. So you guys heard the bells. That is for, it looks like the CRJ sitting right there. The E175 is still sitting there waiting. We've got another one headed out, a couple more headed toward the runway. Looks like a Delta CRJ. Appreciate that, Eddie. Glad you're able to watch the show. Again, like I said, it's been many months, a couple of months since we've done a full-on night show. Now we've gone into the evening. You guys have seen us do that the last few weeks, but no real nighttime shows. I think our last night-ish show was Charlotte, right? If I remember correctly. And surprisingly, the temperature's decent. I did put on the snow pants just in case it got really frigid. They were talking about temperatures dropping quite quickly, but after looking at the weather when I got here, it doesn't look like it's going to drop much between now and 9 o'clock. Hey, here we go. SAS and their Boeing business jet. They're going to leave out of here. Their party plane. We've seen every one of their planes in the last few weeks. So SAS gonna leave out of here. John, I look at flight radar. There, to me, there's really, you can look inside the engine and there's like color inside the engine. They may have the Pratt & Whitneys on it, and some of the Neos, which we don't get here, have that black windshields. But other than that, I really can't tell the difference unless I'm looking on flight radar about the Neos. Now with Boeing, there is quite significant ways to tell, like the maxes and stuff. But with the Airbus stuff, it's not so much. At least not for me. Some people may be able to dig and dive into them a little bit better than I can, but me with the Airbus. Got one over on the maintenance thing. This is not that A321 we saw on Sunday. This is 737 hanging out on the maintenance ramp. So like with the Boeings and stuff, you can tell by the chevrons on the engines. If we see a Max later, I'll show you. The back of the engines have cutouts, triangular cutouts called chevrons. That's one way that you're able to tell that those are Maxes. And they sound a little bit different on startup, in my opinion. When they start up, I tend to call them Mad Maxes. Speaking of which, Alaska was a Max 9 tonight. I believe we have Iceland coming later. Again, like I said, no phone, so I have no idea who's coming. The Air France 777 still en route. Look to probably Ramona to give you guys info on all the major things coming in and out tonight. Again, like I said, the Air France 777 a little later. Thank you, Denny B. Again, thank you guys for watching that show, by the way. Sunday's show. Sunday's show got up to 11,000 views. That's our highest grossing show or videos. So again, thank you for making it Sunday special. We did set a new like record so far. I think 765 likes is now our new record goal, or our new like goal. And like I said, I sent you guys a post the other day on Monday. Appreciate you guys. It's time to set our bar higher. Yeah, and I apologize for not putting the show up last night. I got home and was busy doing other things, doing some chores, so I didn't have to do them tonight. Yeah, I'm not ready for the cold. I'll definitely be Sunday. If it is snowing on Sunday, I'll definitely be wearing the snow pants and doubling down on the jackets. Hopefully it doesn't get too windy. I know it's supposed to get windy in the mountains tomorrow. Right around where I'm from is going to get a significant amount of snowfall tonight and tomorrow there in western North Carolina. It'll probably do like it always does up there and snow right on the Smokies and not progress down the mountains. Delta 2600 from Atlanta. I'm hoping that Verizon Wireless gets their stuff together this evening at some point. So maybe we can give you guys flight radar info. Again, I am connected to the Wi-Fi network, but I'm trying not to burn any of that up. It's for emergencies. In case Miss Carolina needs to get in touch with me, she should be getting home. She should be home. I don't know if she's watching the show or not. Both of us having issues. First time over Christmas. Nice, Denny B. That's awesome. I assume your son moved up here for school. So we should see a couple of freighters. I think FedEx is still on the way like they normally are this late in the evening. Again, summertime is our jam out here during the week. So they should be doing, FedEx should be coming in around 7-ish, 7:30 I think. Is it snowing already in Spruce Pine? Dang, see? I know Swain County is going to get hit pretty hard. Parts of Haywood County are going to get hit pretty hard. But I think it'll stay up on the mountain. I don't think, like Cherokee or Bryson City or whatever will get hit. Oh, nice. Yeah, I moved here about 12 years ago. $13 years ago. What the? Did they have a problem? Interesting. SAS left 23 right, coming back in 23 left. Or maybe their pilots are running touch and goes, maybe? I don't know. Nope, he threw the reversers on. So that Boeing business jet back, we saw it leave a minute ago, not even 10 minutes ago. That one already returning. Speaking of being nosy and getting to know, man, it's dark out here. Can't see where any of my stuff is. Should have bought me an extra light while I was at the store yesterday. So there we go, ATC's on. So this is Air France at 777. We'll stick with that one. I really wanted to turn to SAS. I know SAS is going to come around here in just a minute, but we'll stick with Air France for their touchdown. Looks like we're going to get busy here for a minute or two. Whoops. Apologize. Cable issues. Trying to figure out why ATC's not playing either.
copy. Continue down the runway, turn left at Bravo 3, and then left on Bravo, contact ground.
There it is.
And then lift on Bravo for the run up off.
So Air France from Paris, 777. We'll see that 777 again in just a minute. I am waiting on that SAS to come around. That Boeing business jet. Southwest over here. We'll head over here because I do want to see the SAS right here in the light. So there's prime light right there where that American is sitting. So it looks like Air France is going to be waiting a few minutes here because that CRJ we saw push back a little bit ago, getting pulled out to the starting line. I wonder why SAS came back. David Johnson, good evening. Oh yeah, we got a whole line of planes coming in. Here it comes finally. SAS, finally. It's weird that it went out and came back. Maybe they had a maintenance deal or something. So I got a light goal of 150, I think, tonight. Wasn't sure how tonight was going to go. Again, it's been a long time since we've been out here on a Wednesday evening. So again, welcome in everybody. Air France touching down a moment ago. This SAS leaving and returning. As you can see, all of the lights of planes on their way. Should have a 767 for FedEx later. As well. Surprised at how warm it actually is out here this evening. Again, I did put on the snow pants. I do have one jacket on. I didn't double down on the jacket. There's our 767 right there. You heard him. He's number 2, so this our FedEx 767 Heavy. David, so it's usually the week after time change, because I think the UK's time changes after hours. So whenever the UK goes back onto when they spring forward for summertime. So it'll start coming back in at 1 p.m. So there's going to be a big traffic jam over here, all waiting on a CRJ. Because I don't think the 767 and the 777 can be side by side here. Don't know if FedEx will be able to pass them or not. Doesn't look like they're going to try anyway. I actually think that Air France is on the outer taxiway there.
If you want to land at 238, cleared to land at 2010.
Yeah, Air France is about 2 hours late.
I got the 920 Italian 238, cleared to land at 2010.
Appreciate that, Eddie. Greatly appreciate that. I know the subscriber count has been substantial, by the way. I think we were 20 between Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. I think we were 20 subscribers away from 200 in a short, very, very short span of time. So a huge thank you and a huge welcome to all of our new subscribers. Again, 20 away from 200. What do we got right here? See, this is the issue I have. Can't see nothing at night. This looks like one of the helicopters for the reserve. Flying by. So the CRJ finally out of the way. Now we can turn to Air France. Still no cell phone. Air France wearing a gray nose tonight. There goes the FedEx 767. Looks like we got a Delta A220 touching down. If that looks horrible, let me know. I can turn it back down. Again, like I said, been a while since I've messed with this camera at night. So I want to see how things look. I'm sure watching this on TV, it probably does not look that great. We'll wait. They're getting ready to tow her into the gate.
Roger, traffic 2 off now. Boy, trailer, party, 2 continue, traffic 1 position.
All my stuff is really deceiving. I never know how good something looks until I get home and watch it on the TV. I'm always like, oh, that looks bad. And then I go home and I'm like, oh, that actually looked pretty decent. Iceland from Reykjavik. 7:37 touching down, about a 6-hour flight or so, give or take. Hey, John Southwell, good evening. Well, those lights are bright, man.
Jet 662 outside, 2 0 for white, traffic 6 mile. 2 left, I say 21 turn left, whatever, left turn Bravo, contact infantry.
Southwest headed out. We'll turn back to Air France in just a moment. We're getting ready to start pulling her out of the way. I say 21 times to the back and forth, turn left on Bravo and contact infantry. You get to 920, turn out whatever, let's turn out for contact on 49. Jet 662 traffic and 210 and 2 0 for takeoff. Good evening, Jason. Southwest looks pretty good at night. Now, see, I can't see that with the naked eye, so that tells you how much we've cranked the camera up. I can't see Southwest at all. Can't make out any detail. Same here. No real details on Air France. Just lights. Leap, good evening. Again, good evening, everybody. It's half past the top of the hour. Thank you guys for tuning in. Again, it's been a while since we've been on a Wednesday. Playing around with the camera here. Let me know what you guys think, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent. I know a lot of folks watch the show different ways. And again, if you guys are just joining us too, I do not have flight radar tonight. Unfortunately, I'm a part of that Verizon wireless issue, sadly. Yeah, we should have the Air France departure a little later on tonight. Probably stay for the Air France departure and the American 777 departure. Man, I cannot wait for spring and summer. It's nice and busy. All of this is in the daylight. Looks like United ready to go. As they finish pulling Air France back to the gate. 2, 4, 5 arrivals lined up. Hey, Robbie.
November 7600, extend down, I'll call you this time. Extend the downwind, 7600.
Thank you, Greg Anderson. I was hoping it would look decent tonight. Again, it's been a long time just playing around with it. I haven't even been outside at night in a long time. I get home, it's dark, I go in the house. I used to be a night owl back in the day. Now I'm like, nah. Especially with wintertime, right? Like you get home and you're like, all right, it's bedtime, it's dark, can't do anything. I was laying in bed the other night and I was thinking about it. I was like, man, it's only 7 o'clock. If this were summertime, I'd be outside doing something right now. Kind of like right now, it's dark, 6:30. I haven't been to New York since I was a kid. I passed through New York City, went through the Bronx. I was on a bus, headed up to Connecticut. We thought about going up to New York just before Christmas, but we decided not to. Hey, Barb, good evening. Yeah, so we were talking about snow a minute ago, John Southwell. Apparently, there's some forecasted, they're looking at different models for this weekend. So this weekend show, we may have some snow flurries, snowflakes flying. We'll see how that plays out. Again, you guys know I do not believe anything in the weather unless I see it with my own eyes. So, they don't seem to get the weather correct around here. But again, there is snow in the forecast for Sunday. I think it said like 42% chance as of right now. So if it does snow, we'll be here.
Traffic on the
8:45 for American. Air France may still leave. Well, they'll probably be delayed. They'll probably delayed till 8 or 9. You said 9:45 for American. Probably, we could probably swing that. We're usually out here during the week when we do weekday shows until 9 o'clock, 9:30. Especially when we had the MD-11, we stay to try to capture the MD-11 departure as often as possible. Glad we did that, given that we haven't seen an MD-11 since the incident in Louisville. Looks like an American Airlines on final. Yeah, 6:45 is not going to happen for Air France. They just blocked into the gate. They'll probably go out around the same time tonight. We'll see. We'll hang out. We'll be here. Gonna get at least one of our heavies out of here, probably, and one of the UPSs. I don't know what UPS has scheduled. for tonight, but it's usually around 9:15, 9:30. So we'll see. It might be an A300 tonight. So we'll see. See exactly what we got going on later. This lens isn't very sharp at night. I believe this is another Southwest on the way. So some pretty good action to get the night started.
Continue travel one position.
Yeah, I haven't been to New York since I was like 12 or 13. I drove through New York State back in 07, 08. I was headed to Connecticut then too. My aunt lived in Connecticut. She lived in Waterbury. Again? I saw them leave. I didn't. So again, they must be running maintenance tests or something on the SAS 737. So they landed. We saw the view of them go down to the end of the runway there. I thought they went down the hill and back to their hangar, but looks like they did leave. We missed their departure.
District 365, 5 on the heading right 2, the right clear for takeoff. Heading clear takeoff 2, yeah, 5020, right 2, the right clear to land.
Southwest over there, we do have a departure our side. Looks like PSA back to Philadelphia or Washington, D.C. See everybody getting off of Air France and the American 777. Everybody walking through customs there. Got a couple minutes here, looks like, for our next arrival. I didn't see anybody head out. We do have Southwest on the move, but this is one thing I like to do at night when we have the internationals come in and out, is watch everybody walk the international hallway. It's like a lot of folks on the Air France 777 tonight. Southwest getting a move on. nope. I was about to say, are we done already? But no, there are more folks coming around the corner. It's easier to watch when they're actually in the corner down here usually. Where's that start at? Right about there? Looks like we got a CRJ on the final, possibly. I've never done any kind of international travel, unfortunately. I wanted to rectify that this year. Hopefully, at some point this year, we'll be able to do it. I got some things I got to work out for next month as well. I still haven't even made any of those plans. I'd like to fly one of the 777s out of here. Got United making their way out of here.
Good 2867, turn left 1 airborne and right turn on Bravo, contact after entry. Let's turn right turn Bravo over to ramp for entry in Aeromexico. Break up, 1042, 500, heading right 20, clear for takeoff.
Go to 12.8. Southwest on the move, getting ready to depart. Clear for takeoff. They do have another one on final. So will Southwest give us a turn and burn? I don't know. Do I prefer nighttime or daytime? I like daytime because you can see everything going on down below you, but I also like night flying because of the fact that you can see all the lights, right? So it's all about view and perspective, but for me anyway, if I had my choice, I'd prefer to fly in the morning or as early as possible so I'd have as much time at my destination as possible. There's that United 737 MAX, I believe. Yeah, I like to go early in the morning. Well, I haven't, there's a possibility that I'm doing that. I still haven't even gotten tickets or anything yet. I need to hurry up and do that. It's actually me and my wife talking about it, but I also did a couple other bits of research pertaining to that. But we haven't gotten any tickets or anything just yet. So we'll see what happens there in the next week or two. We do need to get our tickets if we're going to do it or not. Nice departure for the United there. What am I hearing over here to my left?
1586 from the head and contact departure. For departure, yeah, 1366.
No, I haven't heard anything out of Breeze yet on any of their international announcements. If they'll have a press release or not. I'm sure they will. But I know that they've announced them as far as out to the public, I believe. So we'll have the international flight here. What is that? Oh, I'm way too far. Where'd it go? Alright, this thing is moving. Hold on.
Continue travel home position.
Not that far. There it is. It's ops over there. I thought there was a plane over there because that looked red. He was turned the other way. And that looked red. I was like, somebody over there? Could be. That is runway 32. Yeah, I do want to take that flight. Again, I gotta sit down with Miss Carolina again about that. I don't know if she's even watching the show tonight. Ah, it's Wednesday. She's out late. She should still be at work. Alaska Airlines back to Seattle. This one is 737 MAX 9 tonight for Alaska Airlines. This was our arrival. I believe that was an American Eagle E-175 touching down here. Looks like we got a Delta A220 rolling out of here. That one will be headed back to Boston, I believe. And here we go again with SAS. They were down there for quite a while, I guess waiting on Alaska Airlines to push and get out of the way.
Okay, 4804 chop, heading 210 and a 2 direct, clear for takeoff. 210, clear to go, 2 direct, good go, 4804. Onboard 3815, light line, and 2 direct, clear to land.
See what SAS decides to do again. I don't know if they'll go out there and make another departure like they did a minute ago. They snuck out on me.
2 direct, clear to land, and 2209.
A minute ago. So, looks like SAS is going to go do it again. Pulled right back up to 23 left. Hey, Lynn, good evening. Is this our special livery tonight? Is that American 1888 from DFW? I know we've got a special tonight, but I don't remember. I know it's coming from Dallas. If I remember correctly.
American 1888, watch out, 23 right, clear to land. Clear to land on 23 right. Yeah, over 3 at 15, contact ground, roger. Appreciate it. Yeah, ramp up, thanks.
Man, that beacon on that E-175 that landed a minute ago is really, really bright. I think we were supposed to have Flagship Valor back tonight, I think. We won't get too good of a look at it, but I do believe that's supposed to be coming in.
Contact ground point now. Let it off 1319 Hotel, runway 23 right, line of 40 truck, 4 mile final. Runway 23 right, Delta 1319.
Nope, this is the 737 800 from Dallas.
Bravo 4, taxi ramp, Bravo, contact ramp, turret. Bravo 4, taxi ramp, time less than 1888.
I don't know how well this will pick up on camera, but look at that. Look at how bright the beacon is for this E-175. This time last year, we used to have a Delta E-175 that would come in, and you could tell it was it because of its beacon. It had like brand new, really bright beacons on the E-175. I believe this one here, the A220 back to Boston for Delta. Again, if you guys are just joining us, welcome in. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you are looking for flight information, I really don't have any on any of these flights. Again, spotting blind this evening. Still no cell phone. A lot of folks affected by that Verizon wireless outage. No, it's not an A220. It's our A321, or A320, excuse me. Back to Minneapolis, I believe. It's been a long time since we've been here at night. I don't even remember half the flights.
1319, yeah. Mexico 5 Raleigh, Tower, 122, right, continuing trap for auto position. Alaska 572, right, Tower, runway 23, right, line point.
Dang, 196 likes already? I Didn't even realize. Thank you guys for smashing the like button. Almost 4 likes away from 200. So if you guys haven't smashed the like button yet, please do so. We're just now crossing over into the first hour of the show. Technically 1 hour 26 minutes. We did start the show about 20 minutes early. Due to the American 777 touching down early tonight.
Contact ground, 3313.
Look at these things. Need another plane for comparison. Man, those are bright. There goes SAS again, looks like. They're going to go out and do this again. I don't know that they'll be back this time. We'll find. I would assume so. They didn't go down to their hangar and pick anybody up. I think they're running some sort of something on the Boeing business jet tonight. Whether it's maintenance or something. This should be Alaska off to Seattle. .737 at max 9. Gonna make that 4.5 hour trip back to Seattle. Boy, don't get blinded by that. You wear sunglasses near that thing.
That's about 72 contact departure. Don't worry about your 5 Mexico Father report, step here, see that they're in.
So they'll hook up to that, tow them into the gate. We do have another arrival. Still no phone. Ramona gifting out 1 Carolina Aviation membership. Thank you to Ramona. Thank you guys for, again, over the weekend, great support. Thank you guys. Absolutely. Appreciate it. We reached 11,000, which is the most we've ever had on a video or a live show. So thank you guys for that. Hopefully we can keep that momentum going this weekend. Hopefully we have some snow this weekend so we can really keep that momentum going. I'm sure a lot of folks will be interested to see RDU with some snow. So hopefully we'll get something going this weekend. So Trixie, that is SAS. I believe it's a security company here. They own a Boeing business jet. That Boeing business jet going up and coming back several times here so far tonight. No worries, Joshua. What's up? Hope you're doing well this evening. I really do hope we get some snow this weekend. I've waited, what, 2 years? 2.5 years to be able to bring you guys a snow show. Hopefully we'll finally be able to do it. Most of the time it snows during the week. And I'm like, man, I can't go to the airport. I'm stuck at work. David, we go to CLT quite often, in fact. Last time we went, though, had a little bit of backlash about going over there. Not really backlash. People were like, oh, American. Yeah, well, yeah. What is this? Is this Aeromexico? This is Aeromexico in that MAX coming from Cancun. Interesting. But yeah, we go out to CLT every now and then. As a matter of fact, Miss Carolina was trying to get me to go out there this weekend, but with the snow coming, possibly, I don't know.
Before and turn left at Bravo 1.
So Aeromexico, that's a surprise. Wasn't expecting
Bravo 1, Sydney 19
Aeromexico tonight. So many of you guys know, Miles is asking what I do for work. Many of you guys know I'm an automotive technician for a premium luxury brand of vehicles here in the area. So that keeps me pretty well busy all the time. More than I want it to, in fact. Today, we were so slow, I probably could have left at noon and nobody would have even noticed. It was really, really slow today. But I didn't. I stayed and gained like an hour. Made an hour to be there for an hour. Yes and no on the NASCAR thing. I guess it is the best of both worlds. I didn't really care for the playoffs that much, you know, the win and you're in deal, and I didn't like that too well. So I am glad that they did change it to make it where they are forced to race every race. Yeah, today was really slow, for real. Like, it's one of those days that I wish I would have not been at work. Yeah, I don't know. It's like right after the holiday, it just died. Like, this week has been awful. This was like pre-holiday. August, September, and October were awful for us. And it looks like we're trending that way again. To not be very busy.
Shoes 22, winds 2007, runway 32, clear to land.
Alright, SAS back again for the third, fourth time. Maybe this time, being that they're coming in 2-3 right, they'll go back to their hangar. We'll find out in just a minute.
002, turn left when able, left on Bravo.
Yes it is. They I didn't know it came in at night though. Again, we haven't been out here at night in how many months? Quite a few. Plus, that is a new route, that Aeromexico Cancun flight. Hopefully they continue, they'll continue it through the year, but we'll see if they do. A lot of other airlines seem to be heading to Cancun and other places there as well. So, you know, American, Delta, they all have started flights to Cancun. I really don't understand why Aeromexico did it, but I'm glad they did. I did see that Tony's going to be back in the trucks. I saw that he was going to run the Daytona race. Going to run for Dodge. Boy, we've got a lot of recalls right now. Not nothing serious. Camera stuff. Dang technology. do a lot of ECU reprograms here in the last few weeks. But it's not that big a deal. I actually kind of like doing some of the updates. It makes the day go by slower though, because you're sitting for a long period of time. If you do like 3 or 4 of them back to back with a service, it's like it makes the day just drag. I do watch Cletus every now and then. It depends on what he's up to. Oh, okay. Not coming today.
Okay, 4718 right tail, 1208, runway 23 right, clear there.
So, SAS back to their hangar, possibly. I don't think they'll go back out now. Their hangar is right at the end of 23 right.
I got this 43 right, clear like that. Altimeter's 2958.
Wednesday nights are kind of like, I don't know, story time nights type deals. We talk more about different things than aviation, I feel like, when we do Wednesday night shows. It's always been that way too. Especially when it slows down a little bit. We always hit that one little lull there at about 8 o'clock. Hey, Christy, good evening. So I want to know, I do believe SAS will finally return to their hangar. Again, it is down at the end of 23 right. Fareed, good evening. So we're going to try to see who we can get out of here. We're going to try to stay for the American 777. Well, this is unique. Here we go. This is unexpected, as late as this was. 777 time. Looks like Air France going to pull out of here. They were late by about 2 hours. What time? They landed at what, 6? Boy, that's a quick turnaround for Air France. Or are they just running a test on their lights? Did they even... I didn't really pay much attention to Air France. I saw a wing walker out here. Where'd he go? Are they just testing lights? What's going on here? This is way too soon for Air France's departure. There's no way they got that done that quickly.
And 12008, let me grab a wheelchair on risk.
No, there's a wing walker standing. There he is. That's less than an hour. Is there a problem with this Air France? Let's see, can we zoom in and see if there's anybody on board? Doesn't look like there's anybody on Air France. So did Air France have some sort of issue tonight? Again, they're about 2 hours late, and there's no way they're pushing back this early to get out of here unless well, this is a developing deal here. Air France hasn't even been in the gate for an hour, has it? I don't think so. There's nobody on board, it doesn't look like. So I'm wondering if there's some sort of issue with this 777. We'll find out. See where they decide to take it. Yeah, they didn't service this airplane at all. There's no way. So see, they got it's. So 6:49 is when they landed. So they've been at the gate almost 30 minutes. I doubt it. I don't know. We'll find out in a minute, but I don't think so. There's no reason for them to go over there unless Aeromexico needs that gate. There's no. Which I think Aeromexico's pre-check. Iceland's over on the other side too, so there's no issue with them either. We've got our last 2 international flights already, so I doubt it. So I'm wondering if something happened to this 777 on the way over here. Again, it's not been in from D17. Interesting. So I wonder why they're moving it, unless they've got some more flight. Again, we haven't been here forever at night, so I don't know what the deal is. It could be headed over to another gate. It could be headed over to the overnight spot. Who knows? They're getting ready to move this under its own power. They're disconnecting it, so they'll start engines, it looks like. I don't know, John. I know Canada's pre-check. You can get pre-checked. But I don't know if you can in Mexico. But Aeromexico, again, went over there somewhere. They've already pulled into their gate, so we'll find out. If they go left, they're off to the D gates. If they go right, they're off to the overnight parking over there in front of the observation deck. But again, only 30-40 minutes on the gate. There's no if I had a cell phone, I could find out. I could text somebody, but given the phone outage, if you guys, any of you have Verizon wireless, can't make any texts to anyone that we know here. Unfortunately, my phone's gonna blow up after the phone comes back on. I guess everybody's will. See, I can't see Aeromexico, so I don't know. Oh, I guess they haven't hit the gate, have they? They are still sitting over there. Now I can just make out the top of Aeromexico's tail. All right, they'll take this one over to the D gates then. They've turned the tug around. Chances are they're going to take this over to the D gates. So let Aeromexico have this one. Again, it was 2 hours late getting here, so they should have left at around 6:30 p.m. They got here around their departure time. So okay, so they don't have pre-clearance. Thank you, Chad. I knew somebody would know. So that explains why they're moving the 777. So it probably will go over to the D gates now and load up. Apaches are flying around. Where is that one? Oh, he's coming right straight over my head. Alright, so will they go right? Will they go left? Okay, yeah, so they'll take that on to the D gates then. Just like so if you guys if you guys aren't familiar with the summertime here at RDU, American comes in first. The American 777 comes in first, lands over at the customs gates, right where you see it now in the center of your screen. And then about 3 p.m., 3:30 p.m., they push back and they taxi over to the opposite end of the terminal here. And that way Air France can have that gate usually. Now that was when they were flying the A350 this summer. I don't know if they'll still need to do that. Depends on if they continue with the 777 or if they bring the Dreamliner. Now if they do bring the A350 back, they'll be doing that again this summer. Delayed until 8:05. Shoot, I don't even know if that's going to be enough time to get it loaded. Serviced. All right. So only the second time in the show we get the 737 Aeromexico MAX 8. I like this tail. Just like Air Canada, I like the tail at night. That looks really, really cool. The maple leaf on Air Canada looks like it's glowing. The person on the back of Aeromexico looks like it's glowing with the dark tail. Yeah, that's kind of what I thought too, because Lufthansa, and then of course, if I remember correctly, Aer Lingus is supposed to be an after 7 p.m. arrival, so all of the heavies will be out of here. So we're going to try to be here, if you guys are just joining us too, we're going to try to be here for the departure of the 777s tonight. After those two, we'll probably be done. What time does the American leave? If it's 9:45, I probably won't stay that late. I do have to work tomorrow. Usually when we do weekday shows like this, we were staying for the MD-11 departures. So it looks like an American Eagle headed up the hill. Keeps sounding like we've got something from Terminal 1. No movement over there yet. So we'll have Iceland's departure as well tonight. That's one of my favorite nighttime departures is Iceland. Uh-oh. Oh boy, oh boy. Oh man. If you know, you know. My Verizon is still not back on, unfortunately. Man, that's gonna be a headache for this guy right here. I don't know if he's gonna have to come all the way out. Unfortunately, where we're at, you can't see the other end of the terminal. It's a problem when we're on the 2-3s. You can't see the entire terminal. And of course, we never see Terminal 1 side. You guys know that. There's never a view of that one. Not that I know of, but good thing this guy stopped so he doesn't get can opened or stuck. Or both. That's why I said, if you guys know, you know. Those guys in the Ryder trucks and the Penske trucks that slammed through there. I know they had one a couple of weeks ago. Somebody just slammed through there, peeled the top back on one of them trucks. Yeah, so some Verizon phones are working, you guys. Like, there were people at work that their Verizon phones were working just fine. But others at work were not. It seems like it's the newest iPhones and like the newest Samsungs. 20 up, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what the extent of it is. I don't know why they're having issues. But I haven't had a phone since about noon. Hey, there's Miss Carolina. So yeah, my phone. So what it says is, I don't know if I can turn this around here. Hold on. I don't know if you'll be able to see it or not. But so like, and then it's like emergency calls only. I am connected to our Wi-Fi, but that is, like I said, only for emergencies. But see, I have no service. So again, it's been down. My phone's been down since about noon. You're so dumb. Somebody's Verizon is working. Yeah, I have satellite calling and texting on my phone if there's absolutely no service. But what's happened is everybody's phone has gone into SOS mode. So like I said, certain things work. Our Wi-Fi is working to bring you guys the show tonight, and that's a Verizon Wi-Fi hotspot. So yeah, I couldn't get mine back. I toggled it on and off. I did a soft reset on my phone. I thought I was gonna have to go to Verizon, and then somebody was like, "Oh yeah, there's the network is down." So I'll try again before I go to bed tonight. But I can still use it on Wi-Fi. I can't make any phone calls whatsoever. So you got to call through Facebook or Instagram. But if I turn the Wi-Fi hotspot off, then I have absolutely no service. My phone is dead in the water. So I don't know. arrival.
Contact departures here. Departure of 1550.
Delta 1550, that's headed to Atlanta. If I remember correctly. It looks like we've got a couple more headed out for departure. American Eagle, looks like another American, might be a 737-800. Delta, and another American. So a couple more departures here. We did have one go up the hill. That American Eagle looked like it went to the penalty box. Looks like we've got a 737 doing the same thing for American. I think that's the one back out to Dallas, if I remember. So we'll see what goes on. Yeah, so it wasn't like, the outage isn't like, I don't know if it's nationwide, but it's several major cities. I think they said like 90,000 customers are having issues with their phones. And there's an American Eagle coming back here. Got one beacons on. I don't think that one's ready to go either. Where did that American go?
Number 15, 18, turn left on Able and Ram Bravo, contact ground, or contact Ram Tower. Left on Able Bravo, then right tower, dump south, 15.
He come up the hill, but where did he go? Oh, I guess that truck got out. I missed it. Dang it. I was going to watch him try to get out of that. Easy enough, of course. It just, at least he didn't go down there and rip his truck and trailer apart. Down on the bridge. Yeah, penalty box. Did I say mentally box? I don't know. The penalty box. But I don't see that American. I don't know where it went. Maybe that other one wasn't sitting there. Maybe it took off. But the 737 definitely headed up the hill. Looks like he's covered by the trees, possibly. $230 likes. Thank you guys for smashing the like button this evening. Again, we're going to stay here for the American 777 departure. Again, if that's at 9:45, I probably won't stay for that. I think that's about what time it's supposed to depart. So we'll shoot for probably 9, 9:15, 9:30. We'll wait on the UPS departure. Just gonna slow down again here for a minute. Hopefully this doesn't disrupt the show. I'm gonna try to take a quick peek at flight radar really fast. Try to look at our departure board. 8:45 for the American 777. 9:05 for the A300 off to Louisville. So that one there off to Louisville will be our last plane of the night. Icelandair Reykjavik should be pushing back here anytime. Scheduled departure time 7:45. Alaska's already gone. They were scheduled for 7:04. They left already. Air France delayed until 8:30 is their estimated departure. So maybe we'll get those two heavies back to back. So we'll see what happens. There's that American. He's going to continue on up the hill, it looks like. An arrival. I think this is another Embraer E175. Yeah, maybe we can get three heavies right together for departure. It'd be a great way to end the show tonight. Our first Wednesday back in quite some time. So I don't know where they're going to put anything as of right now for, I know they're working on expanding customs gate, ticket counters and stuff like that right now.
Okay, 4596, turn left one airborne, and then left turn on Bravo, contact after entry. 2 left for Manfred, 45.
Yeah, Plane Finder is another one that I use. I don't particularly use it because I haven't really paid much attention to it, but I don't think I can set like a home airport like you can on Flight Radar. So I set our home airport for RDU, obviously. I change it every time we go somewhere, like if we go down to Charlotte or if we go up to DC, I change that to my home airport. But they Plane Finder, I don't think you can do that. I think that's why I stopped using it. The only thing I use Plane Finder for is to click on the airport and find out how many flights we have for the day. Delta cleared for takeoff. Looks like another 737-700.
Number 2, number Charlie, tower, 223 right, cleared to land, 12209.
American Eagle's busy at the moment. This one with the really bright beacon, I feel like this one should have been here a little bit longer too. I don't feel like this one was here too long. Yeah, speaking of our blue tube of toothpaste, they are on the push for Icelandair. You can see their tail just on the other side of Terminal 2. So we'll get that 737 MAX out of here and back to Reykjavik. One of my favorite nighttime departures. This plane just lights up so well, in my opinion. This one right here, man, I'm telling you, I hope they're wearing their sunglasses down there. That beacon, as bright as it is. Is there somebody really riding a motorcycle? What? So this one will get towed out to the starting line, and of course Iceland pushing as well. I think Aeromexico is here for the night. I think they leave at 9 a.m. in the morning. Thought we had someone else for departure, but it doesn't look like it. Do have another arrival though. Looks like it might be a General Ave, maybe. Yep. I hear our Max firing up over there, the old Mad Max for Iceland. Dang, almost 250 likes tonight. Thank you guys. Again, I set it for 150, being that it's been a while since we've been here on a Wednesday night. So thank you guys for smashing that like button tonight. If you guys haven't, please do so. If you guys are new here, please feel free to subscribe. 2 free ways to help the channel keep things going. Yeah, it tends to slow down right here in the middle, and then around 9 o'clock, 8:30, 9 o'clock, it picks up again. Of course, we'll have those heavy departures, 8:30, 8:45, and 9:05. As of right now, those are the scheduled departures. So again, if you guys just joined us, Air France was 2 hours late today. So that's why they haven't departed yet. American finally continuing its way up the hill and on to the taxiway. So he's over there. That's at 737-800. Sounds like we've got a brickyard on the move for Public Airways. Why can't they all depart like that? Nice. Yeah, I come out, every time I drive by the airport, I'm like, all right, what are you doing? I'm so confused. By American, what are you doing? Okay, bye. See ya. See you in a minute. What are they doing? Taking the scenic tour of RDU, I think. So they'll pop back out down here in just a minute. That's a really good good place when they go by down there. It's really fun to be over that way. If you get the opportunity to be. They come down that taxiway. Still somebody out there at the end of the runway. I don't know if you can see the beacons flashing out there. Hey, do we have our does anybody know if we got the FedEx ATRs tonight? They should be coming in, or they should have already came in. Have we had our FedEx ATRs? Again, I really wish my phone would come back. Let me try turning the phone off and see if it'll come back. I know Miss Carolina just said hers hasn't come back yet. So let's power the phone off and see if maybe they fixed it and I just need to reset my phone. Ah, perfect. See, I knew we were getting close to the time for the FedEx ATRs. See, there's the American that you saw a moment ago. You can see the tail of American. They've popped out on 23 right side there. Nope, still nothing for my phone. That's sad. There goes Iceland. Hey, we made it to 250 likes. Thank you guys. Was not expecting that tonight, so I greatly appreciate you guys. Spending your Wednesday evening with us.
Okay, 602, I tower at 32, clear to land, 1209.
Start having all the Cessna Grand Caravans from out there out toward the beach for UPS as well. That's why I was wondering about the FedEx ATRs. See, another nice early rotation. So, American on the right of your screen coming down the hill the rest of the way. From taking the scenic route around the airport.
Alright, sir, 21, tell you where we go. Hey, come on, sir. Sir, 25, I'm heading at 2 p.m. Clear for takeoff traffic, 5 mile final. Clear takeoff, 2 clear right one landing. Nice, that's
Well, we know there's an A220 out there somewhere. This one's being towed. That's a United off to the overnight. There's our A220, the Delta. Should be a nice departure for them. Eddie, welcome to economy class. Hey, James, good evening. Joe, good evening to you as well. Iceland already making that turn and burn. They're back to Reykjavik. Beautiful Iceland departure. And they're going to take a minute. You're going to lose them right there. Probably should have moved a little bit closer to the edge for the nighttime stuff. I got plenty of room for activities up here. There's hardly any cars up here. Sunday, I was kind of worried. Sunday, had somebody parked in the, if you know about RDU, you come up here, you know. Somebody parked in the little square, the no-no square up here. Made things a little more difficult for me. I got everything set up and then they decided to leave. So then I had to slide over to our normal spot. But there's nobody up here tonight. I could park upside down if I wanted to. So, the FedEx ATR from New Bern. This is the newest one out of the two. Also the biggest out of the two. Which is weird because you would think the bigger one would go to Wilmington.
Onboard 3597 on fire, and keep your right hand to white.
It's been a while since we've seen the ATRs.
Mountain 7503, turn left and over, contact now. Oh, left and over, it was down, I was in that now, 3503.
Joshua, good evening to you.
Onboard 3597 on top, 5 on the heavy wind, 2 direct, clear for takeoff.
Did they pull? They did. They pulled this American from the overnight hard stand. I know they got a United going out there, but interesting that they would pull this off the hard stand. Maybe they didn't. Nope, there's that United. So maybe they did. There goes the FedEx ATR. Interesting. So I guess I'll tow the American back here. Couple out there for departure. I think there's about 3. Maybe 2. Yeah, that FedEx leaves at like 9:50. Again, we're gonna schedule for about 9:15, 9:30 at latest. Again, I do have to be up early and head to the good old day job. But yeah, so it leaves, FedEx leaves at 9:50. So we've got the A300 for UPS around 9:05. The American 777 scheduled for 8:45 and Air France scheduled for 8:30. As of right now. So again, if you guys are just joining us, Air France did come in 2 hours late tonight. So that's the issue there. V-Dub, what's up? Is that? Now I've got 2 V-Dubs in here. Nice. So yeah, Air France 2 hours late. They pushed it back. They moved it over to the D gates because Aeromexico needed a gate to offload. And so now we're just waiting for all of those heavies. Hopefully they'll go out pretty well consecutively. And those 3 will end our night of plane spotting. can see all the beacons down there. Lots of planes. Looks like a lot of planes to leave, but I don't know about that. There are definitely a few. One of which is a Delta A220, and I believe that's it right there.
155 tower, 20 clear to land, wind 22010, travel land with us, travel park arrival.
So the Delta A220 making their way out. I know the feeling, Eddie. The first time I ever flew, back in 2016, 15, 16, 17, I can't remember. Never flew as a kid, never, you know, other than like small stuff. Flew in a Cessna and a couple of helicopters as a kid, but never flew internationally until work sent me to school down to Fort Lauderdale. And yeah, first time, and I was doing it alone, so that really bothered me too. Yeah, I was a little freaked out for my first time, but after that I loved it. Funny story about that, and if you guys are longtime viewers of the show, you know. You've heard this story. So we went down, work flew me to Fort Lauderdale. I had class in Miami. And so I flew down on JetBlue, right? So I had DirecTV, I had Wi-Fi on board, I had all this stuff. And so then they flew me home via Southwest. Well, it was like 8 or 12 hours late. No Wi-Fi, no nothing on board this plane, and it was after dark. I was bored out of my mind. And what was really funny about that is the fact that the Southwest flight was more expensive than the JetBlue flight, and I didn't get any amenities. I was like, what? How is this possible? I didn't pay for it, obviously. It was a work deal. But it was definitely... Again, like I said, that's the first time I've flown. So I flew two separate airlines, and I was definitely not impressed with Southwest. Nothing wrong with Southwest, obviously. Just for my first time, though, I was like, oh, I kind of wish I had Wi-Fi on board, you know? But we didn't, unfortunately. Yeah, I saw that about a Velo. Yeah, I would love some snow sent down this way. Again, Sunday, if you guys were here earlier, we were talking about it's in the forecast. Don't know how much we'll get. Don't know if we'll see any at all, but it is in the forecast for Sunday. As you guys know, Sunday's our normal day, so obviously we'll be out here for the Sunday show. And if there's snow, man. I'm not going to complain at all. Flew JetBlue direct. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's one of the reasons why I like JetBlue. I haven't flown JetBlue since, but that is one of the reasons why I enjoyed my JetBlue flight. You know, I had all the amenities. I was able to text while I was in the air, watch TV if I wanted to, which of course being my first time flying, heck with TV. Why do I want to watch TV? I don't look out the window. And so it was good. It was a good trip. Then I flew to Atlanta, and that trip was a blur. I remember being in the airport and going to my class in Atlanta, but I don't remember. I remember the flight and the clouds, but I guess I lost all the videos and photos I had from that flight. I don't know where they went. Beautiful thunderheads as we were coming through right at sunset. It was fantastic. It was an absolute stunning landing. No, I think both of the ones that had the ground collision are gone, finally. I know the Southwest one is. No. Not an A220. I think this was before A220s. Right before. It was like 2015, 16, 17, somewhere around in there. I don't know. I don't actually know what kind of plane it was, because I wasn't... I liked aviation, but I didn't know planes at that point back then. So it was like, I have absolutely no idea what kind of plane it was. Don't remember. Last time we flew, we sat in front of the engine. And that was when we flew to Orlando for Frontier Airlines. That wasn't a bad flight. Right, yes, I would love to catch that flight too, from Miami to Charlotte, or even Miami to New York. Okay, so Avelo's back in the air.
Connection to 4 5 on the heading to 230, clear for takeoff.
So for Airbus, I'm partial to the A380. To me, that's just a wonderful, amazing piece of machinery, the engineering. I really like the A350-1000. As far as Boeing goes, I'm going to say the 777-300s are probably my favorite for Boeing. When you're talking regional stuff, the only thing that I really like that's Airbus is the A220. The A320 series and A3, the A series, I'm not a huge, like the smaller stuff, A319, 20 and 21, they're nice on the inside. I guess it depends on what airline you fly with, but when you're talking smaller stuff like that, I lean more towards the 737s. I did see that they're trying to buy Sun Country. Maybe they'll get that deal done. We know that Spirit Airlines and the JetBlue deal didn't go through. They told them no, they couldn't do that. Man, that's a quick turnaround for this E175 too. American Eagle on it. Republic Airways flying through these guys. Face the tail, right? I think the worst probably departure, and only because, and we've talked about this on the show too, is if I can't see what's going on in front of me, or I'm doing like some sort of 3D motion ride thing, it makes me sick to my stomach. I remember that Atlanta trip, we left out of Atlanta and we were leaving from the west. So we were leaving from the east heading west. And we had to make that sharp left bank and come around, and I was on the outside of the plane, so all you could see was sky, and it upset my stomach so bad because it was up and it was angled, and it just, I don't know, it really messed with my head. I didn't throw up or anything, and it wasn't long. I was just like, please get me out of this. Once we made that turn, it was fine. We didn't have any any major turns or things go on when we flew Frontier. Coming into Orlando was nice. We came into the south end of Orlando, so we had to make that loop around, but that was fun, no big deal. I'd like to fly more, to be honest. I really would enjoy doing a lot more flying. And it doesn't have to be any particular destination either. I just want to, hop on a plane and go. I wish flights were still cheap like they were back in the day. Now they're, what's the cheapest flight out of here? After tax and everything, it's still $100, $150, $120. Talking about a flight, $43 flight on Breeze, still, well into the hundreds, which isn't that expensive, but when you if you put a bag or anything on there, which normally when I flew those 2 times for school, I took a backpack. I don't carry on, or I don't check bags usually. But if all of our stuff goes through and we do decide to take our trip next month, I'm gonna have some check bags, I think. Gonna have at least one major checked bag. So the American Eagle E175 pushing back as our final FedEx ATR makes its way over to the FedEx terminal. Yeah, I enjoyed Orlando International. We spent, how long did we stay there? A couple hours? 3 hours? So the way it was is we flew down, me, Miss Carolina, and my youngest. We flew down, and so we had to wait on, and they drove. So we had to wait on them to come pick us up at the airport. And we just got in there, hung out. We're watching the birds fly around the food court deal and ate. It was really nice. We did a little shopping while we were in there, of course, just walking around, trying to exercise. But yeah, I enjoyed Orlando International. Nice airport. Let's see. Biggest layover I've ever had. I've never really had a layover per se, but my Southwest flight was delayed 12 hours out of Fort Lauderdale due to weather in Chicago. So my plane was coming from Chicago, and there was some pretty heavy storms up there. It was delayed. I think I was there 8 hours, 12 hours, something like that. Something like that. I've had worse luck taking a bus, to be honest. Every time I take a bus anywhere. Of course, I haven't done that in a very long time, and I do not ever plan on taking another bus ever again. I was young, of course. I was a kid the first time I did it. Me and my mom went away, but got delayed in Charlotte for like 12 hours. Then I got delayed in Chattanooga one time for 24 hours. Or Knoxville. My parents actually ended up coming to pick me up after that. They're like, no, it's a 2-hour ride over to Knoxville. We're gonna come pick you up. So that was good. Yeah, Miss Carolina wants to take the train. Unfortunately, though, I think that the train from here to, let's say, Orlando is only a night train, and I don't know that I would. The whole point in taking a train is to see the countryside, right? I know you can take the long cross-country trains, stuff like that, but I don't know. I did see The Lonely Traveler. I did see the Lonely Traveler when I was down there. That was actually one of the things that I wanted to see when I was down there last year. No, well, I'm filming from the parking garage, yeah. Not the premiere side, but we are on the normal side. Yeah, so I mean, like, you know, when you drive, you're concentrating on driving, right? I want to be able to go, like, if I ever decide to take a train, I want to be able to just go and relax on the train. My in-laws did the train down to Orlando, and they said it was miserable, but it was because it was at night. Like, if it had been during the day, I don't think they would have had any sort of issues. And that's the thing. It's like, I would rather, even doing the bus. I'd rather, if I were going to take a bus ever again, I'd rather do it during the day too. So you can see what's going on, you know? And I don't like sleeping uncomfortably on public transport. I can't even sleep on an airplane. Like, I can't. Of course, flying is exciting to me. If I were going to fly for a long time, like say out to LA, I probably still wouldn't sleep, but I would be very uncomfortable. Got Frontier Airlines ready to go. Looks like an A320. Yeah, the Concorde is awesome. If you've ever seen a Concorde in person, I don't know what they even put windows on a Concorde for. If you've ever, like I said, if you've ever seen one in person, you know that the windows are tiny on a Concorde. Yeah, the problem with the auto transport, and I wish there were more auto transport trains, by the way. The problem with the train is I got to drive almost to DC to get on the train in Virginia. They don't have a auto load here. Same train comes through here, but they don't have an auto load. Yeah. Same size as a phone. Yeah, exactly. The Concorde is really cool to see in person. Again, we've gone to went to the DC Museum and saw the Concorde in there, the Air France Concorde. Is this 737 going to go out empty? This was the one that was parked over there on the hard stand. So maybe this one getting ferried out tonight. Yeah, I would have loved to have flown on a Concorde just once. It's very expensive though. Looks like this American 737 will be leaving empty. But anyway, yeah, I have issues sleeping, and especially in a car. It doesn't matter who's driving, whether or not I trust you with my life or not. I have a problem sleeping in a car. I can't do it. Even sitting still, right? Like, you pull over somewhere to take a nap, I still can't do it. I could be exhausted and I still can't sleep in a car. Unless I'm like, I've been up for 40 hours. It's hard to do. Now, you know, if you guys have been with the channel long enough to know, you know that we did DC one time, and I did a little car camping when I went to DC. Yeah, it was very, very uncomfortable, just because of the way the floor is laid out in my car. Made it a little uncomfortable. But other than that, I've done it several times, to be honest, even before we started doing live shows. It's not too terrible.
That's 48 tower, 23 left, clear to land, then 22011. Brother, 48 away.
Yeah, this American's about to leave out empty. That's where I want to go. I want to go to the Intrepid up in New York. So this one off to Charlotte. Okay. So yeah, definitely a ferry flight. Been sitting on the hard stand. They took it straight off the hard stand. Oh yeah, look at that early rotation. There ain't nobody on board to worry about. Let's give it all the beans, shall we? Gonna leave like a rocket in that 737? Absolutely. Looking like a freighter. Yeah, that's the thing, right? Like, you pull over, you get out, you walk, it wakes you back up, and you're like, all right, I can go again. It's just that's why I don't drive anymore. So I used to drive back and forth from the mountains all the time, and it just got so boring. And then I've driven down to Orlando both directions. I've driven to Florida several times. One way down I-26 to 95, and then down through Atlanta and hit the other side. I've driven all the way down 95. It doesn't matter. It just, I don't know. All of those long drives to me are just, I don't know. Now, if I were doing it for a road trip to be a road trip, absolutely. But if I'm like trying to get somewhere in a hurry and the anticipation is killing me, I'm like, I just want to be there, you know, then that's when it bothers me the most. Almost 4,000. Dang. Yeah, he was on it.
681 North Hall 5, I'm heading at 23 right, clear for takeoff.
Should have some movement out of our 777s.
Time is 0133.36. Should get you down here in about 2 to 3 minutes.
I saw that Delta's also getting the Dreamliners too. It's kind of an interesting move for Delta. Buying into some 787s. Nice smooth arrival here for Southwest. Another early rotate. This one for the American Eagle. They're climbing off like a rocket too. So a couple of really nice rocket launch takeoffs here. I hope our freighter is the same way, that A300. I haven't seen the A300 in a very, very long time, by the way. So it'll be good to see the UPS A300. Yeah, I don't think anybody was really expecting Delta to get any Dreamliners, but I think they said, what, by 2030 they bought some. They'll be taking delivery of those. So we're 8:30. Again, we should have movement out of heavies here before too long. That was the other thing about, John, you talk about TSA, and that was the other thing. We didn't have any issues with TSA either. Neither here or Orlando when we came back. I'm glad we don't have to take our shoes off anymore for that. I hate taking my shoes off for TSA. It's like, really? Then you gotta sit down and put your shoes back on. It's like, really? No movement out of it yet. Dallas 4. Yeah. An MD-10, I would have been worried to death too. Weren't they the ones with the big issues with the cargo doors? I think they were. Wasn't it the MD-10s? Or was that something before them? I remember one of those planes, they were talking about the cargo hatch would open and it would just rip the plane apart after that. London's still sitting right now. No pushback for the London 777, unless there's one I don't know about over on the other side. Yeah, the one that came in still just chilling, hanging out over here.
Delta 1407 on the ground, runway 23 right, taxi to Foxtrot, Bravo 9.
Yeah, DC-10, okay. I knew it was 10 something. Yeah, they fixed like once it became a thing, they really buckled down and fixed those. Hey, John, good evening. So I wonder...
5198, after departure, good? Over departure, we'll see you in a couple hours if it's still here.
Speaking of MDs, here we go, the old Mad Dog. I didn't see this one arrive, so this one must have been here before we got here. So it looks like the Mad Dog on the move back to Detroit. Maybe we missed its arrival. Should be a fantastic departure, as always. $284 likes. Thank you guys for smashing the like button. Just a few more to 300. Make sure you guys smash it if you haven't. Let's get to 300 tonight. I think that would be a record for a Wednesday night show, maybe. We don't talk too much about the Wednesday night shows, but yes, this is the Boeing 717 for Delta. E175 down here has got a high-pitched engine. Only 16 likes away. The wind is blowing at my back and blowing right down my neck. Whoa, it's cold. Zip my jacket all the way up. Oh, it is zipped all the way up, pretty much. Okay.
Pick up 4571, again, just hold for the Foxtrot. This toe's going to pass you, then I'll get you moving.
Yeah, so the United sitting by the trees, they're done for the day.
So you can change my frequency 2745. Fast forward down, proceed as requested, just give way to all right there. Breaker 4571, wait for that toe to pass, and then taxi a Foxtrot, Delta, Golf, hold short of Charlie. Breaker 4571, I'll keep checking the list. If anything comes up, I'll let you know. And you can shut down on Golf.
Another American Eagle arrival. Looks like we've got another United headed off to bed.
734, taxi Charlie Bravo to parking and contact Atlanta. Charlie Bravo to park, contact Atlanta.
So another United done for the day.
23 right, there's traffic on a 9-mile funnel. This runway 23 right. 609 right there, let me keep you right, continue. I got a vehicle on the runway doing an inspection.
Pair of E175s. Where are we at doing the inspection? Where's Ops? Ops must be coming from behind me. Racing down the runway. There's the American 777. That's what we've been waiting on. American 174 Heavy. Now we just need to get Paris out of here too. There goes Ops racing down the runway. We'll see them in just a moment. As the American triple moves. He did a lot of RDA plans by. I do. I live in Raleigh. live around the area.
JetBlue 1369, right down, runway 23 left, clear to land.
He did just say 23 left, correct? Because I don't know who's on final for right, but if that's JetBlue, then Ops is off the runway at least, but
Thank you, United 609, runway 23 right, clear to land.
there they go. Getting that clearance on 23 right to land. The plane coming and Ops was on the runway, so.
Out 4, proceed as requested.
All right, the American 777 Enjoy should be starting up here any second. I was just wondering that same thing. It does look like Aeromexico. Beacon is on, so it does look like Aeromexico will be pulled over to the hard stand there. So it was United landing 23 right. JetBlue is cleared for 23 left. I know, I wish we had more options to spot from here at Raleigh, but unfortunately we don't. Here comes that JetBlue 23 left. It's like an A220. Be a nice smooth arrival. Here comes our Mad Dog. The Boeing 717 should be an exciting departure. Yeah, I do wish we had like better and more close-up places to spot. The observation deck is great, and if you guys have been here long, you know. Well, we've talked about it. We've even done some shows down there. We did Thanksgiving Day. We also did one back in May. We did a show down there. It's not ideal for doing the show, but we have done it. And I don't like being in people's way either. So I always feel like when I go to the observation deck, unless there's a big group down there like we did back in May for the meetup, and there's a lot of folks down there, then I don't mind too much. But for the average people down there, I don't like to be in people's way.
Do you want us over to the departure for Delta 1405? See you at Delta 1405.
So we're still waiting on our A300 for UPS, and we're still waiting on the Air France 777. Just joining us, American sitting at the end of the runway. Agreed, Dr. Henry, agreed. Now, so we've talked about this on the show too. So you know they're moving the runway, and the EMS station at the end of 23 right will still exist. Now, will that present us to have more opportunities to hang out at the end of the runway? I hope so. I really, really do. I like the gravel lot, but I do hope that when they finish the runway and hopefully they leave us some room out there, I hope it's above the fence. That was one of the issues we suffered with out at the end of the runway. That's why you guys didn't see a whole lot of shows back when the gravel lot was open, and we fought with the fence a lot down there. So again, hopefully they'll leave us some room at the end of the new runway. Got another arrival. American not going anywhere just yet. Gonna wait on this one last arrival, it looks like. Again, still waiting on that Air France departure, as well as the UPS A300. Alex, I would go for that. A GoFundMe for a truck, absolutely. Put me a, give me one of those vans, probably, and put me a nice big platform on top of it. So they definitely won't build anything off to the west, right? Because you got all that forest land and the little ponds and lakes, the reservoirs over there. Plus the access back there. There are 2 abandoned roads back there, but to get to those 2 abandoned roads is kind of a pain in the butt. Now, and they do butt up against the fence. I've been back to both sides of them, or both roads. But I don't know. Off to the west, there's really not a whole lot they can do. So they'd have to either do something toward the end of the runway, or they have to move the observation deck here on the east side of the runway. But again, it would be really nice to see them build a new observation deck toward the end of the runway. Just my opinion. If anybody from the airport's listening.
Heavy, Raleigh tower. Turn left sitting at 210. Runway 23 right, so 0.
All right, American 174 heavy. Yeah, I would like to have something that I could put a platform on and be able to like do the camping thing in. So one of those vans I think would be ideal. Even if it's just a small one enough for me to lay down in the back. I'm okay with that. I don't need, I do it in a Honda. I've done it in the Honda before. So a car, in fact, not an SUV. But to have a van and be able to camp out in it would be nice. All right, enjoy the 777. Always something about them leaving at night. I don't know. They sound different at night, in my opinion. All right. Again, waiting on the A300 and, of course, Air France at 777. Let's see if we can take a quick peek at flight radar without messing up the stream. Air France looks like it's delayed until about 9:13, which is okay. As long as it doesn't go too long past 8:30 or 9:30, I'm okay. Plus, again, we're still waiting on UPS. UPS will probably get out of here about 9:15 or so. Yes, I have. So I've got a couple folks in both towers that I talk to every once in a while. One that, when there's a lot of things going on around the airport, I talk to regularly. He's the one I get all of my info from. So yeah, I do have a couple of folks in the tower that I can talk to if I need to. Both the main control tower and the ramp tower. So I don't have, again, I don't have cell phone connection. So I can't text anybody right now. My phone is still messed up in this Verizon fiasco, I guess. It's weird how some phones are affected and some phones aren't. And again, the Wi-Fi box we're using is Verizon Wireless, and it is unaffected by what's going on. So, but my cell phone's been dead since about noon today. Restarted it several times. I even restarted it during the show. So, still no luck with the phone. Looks like Aeromexico gonna push. They're not going anywhere, but they're going to head over to the hard stand for the night. They'll be back out about 9 a.m. tomorrow.
Speed on runway 23 left, traffic 20 miles up.
Yeah, it's weird. My wife's phone, I got a friend of mine that's on our plan, but also people at work are affected by it. And I don't know if it depends on the year of your phone or what the deal is, but again, definitely some issues with Verizon Wireless. It's been in the news all day. About 90,000 customers without phone service.
Sergeant, over there.
Years of age for that Air France. Won't be long before they retire that one. Jim, good evening, I should say. Air France pushed back from the D gates. So our Air France 777 coming up here shortly. Yeah, I got nothing on my phone. Still an X. Like I said, I'm using our Wi-Fi box in case of an emergency, like if Miss Carolina needs to get a hold of me for any reason. But other than that, the only way I can get phone calls or messages is through Facebook or Instagram. I can receive text messages. I was texting Pip earlier today, but again, I have to be on my Wi-Fi box, the one we're using for the show. So I'm trying not to use it and make any kind of issues for the show. Excuse me. Hard to talk, getting tired. Almost 9 o'clock. 1 minute. Did we make it to, while we wait, let me move this over here a little bit. Did we make it to 300 likes tonight? Hey, we did 314 likes to be exact. Thank you guys for smashing the like button. While we are waiting, we started the day with 70. Hold on. Give you guys an update. I like to give you guys updates on our subscriber counts here. Started the day with 7733. We're up to 7767. So thank you guys to all of the new subscribers tonight. Greatly appreciate that. Again, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and part of today, we almost had 200 subscribers off of Sunday's show alone. So again, thank you guys for liking the show. Greatly appreciate you guys. Yeah, we gotta meet up again, me and Pip. We did a show last year. Was that last year in Charlotte? Where we hung out together? Shoot, I can't remember. He stayed in Charlotte for a couple extra days. So again, Air France should be on the move here anytime now. And we're waiting on that A300 for UPS. Those two planes will end the night of plane spotting. I told him he should have went to Portland. I think it's Portland, where they have the fighter jets take off. I think it is. I think it's Portland. I told him he should go there. I don't know how busy Portland is. I think I've seen one show from there. Didn't he do one from there one time? I don't remember. I get where he's coming from on SeaTac though. Seattle's a hard airport to get any kind of views and to be able to set up and do a show and this, that, and the other. It's kind of one of those things that's, you got some airports you can do shows at, and you got some airports that are nearly impossible, and I feel like I'm tangled up in cords. Air France, that 777, finally on the move. I did a show, so if you guys ever go back, you'll see John talk about it. If you ever go back in some of the shows and watch, we had double Air Force One and Air Force Two here one time. That was dope. We did a live show for that. That was really cool. I've seen a lot of cool things doing this show.
231,
Seen a lot of unique things hanging around the airport. Yeah, I don't know when Pip will be back on. Thank you, Eddie. I'm glad you guys enjoyed tonight's show. I was kind of worried about coming back and doing nighttime shows. Again, I'm glad you guys enjoyed tonight's show. Not quite over yet. I'm going to get the Air France 777 out of here, and we should see UPS here shortly. I'll get these three heavies out, then we'll be done. Yeah, we were here for that. The Japanese Prime Minister brought both of those 777-300s. That was a cool show. We've been here for we've been here for 3 Atlas 747s. The first one was that cargo one for Christmas. Then we were here for the soccer team over the summer. And then 4th of July this past year, we had the Atlas 747 picking up Mr. Beast. So we've had a lot of interesting things that we've filmed and we've seen here at RDU. You wouldn't think an airport as small as ours, I say small, it's a decent sized airport, would be as exciting or have as much unique things as we see here. We get a lot of special liveries, we get a lot of, unique things. We did see we were here for the Turkish 777-300. What else? Yeah, Rowan, I know. I've had issues all day since noon. But we've seen a lot of unique things. We've been here for Lufthansa's inaugural, Air France's inaugural. Man, what else? We've been here for a lot of things. It's not even been 3 years yet, and we've had an amazing, amazing time. All right, you guys enjoy the GEs on this 777-200. Nice departure for Air France back to Charles de Gaulle. Now there was just one. We're waiting on our UPS. Should leave like a rocket, hopefully. Hopefully will be a fantastic departure for UPS. Won't be an MD-11, but it should still be good. I miss the MD-11. Yeah, I didn't live here for the Antonov, unfortunately.
If you guys are ready now, we can start. I just want to make sure if you're ready, I'm going to get you up.
So, again, a couple... Huh, I thought I heard it. take a look over toward UPS. It's really hard to tell when it's not the MD-11. So we'll see. A couple more minutes here. It's starting to get a little on the cool side now. A little bit more wind. My favorite plane. I have lots, actually. I know we talked about this earlier in the show, didn't we? So from Airbus, I really love the A380 as far as, and of course, who doesn't love the A380, right? The A380 is a majestic plane, right? It's huge. It's like a flying building. But I think the A350 is a beautiful plane. The A220's got to be my favorite regional. And as far as Boeing goes, I'd say the 777 and the 737 MAX aircraft. I like the stance of a 737. I like how low they are to the ground. They just look, I don't know. Yeah, I've got the heated jacket on. I've got the snow pants on. My hands are a little cold, but other than that. If the wind would stop blowing down the back of my jacket, I'd be even better. Blowing down on my neck. But other than that, not too bad. Dang, we'll have seen all of our international flights except for Copa and Lufthansa. By the way, we were talking about it. FedEx will play with our emotions for the next 45 minutes. They'll be up, ready to go, then they won't, and then they will. Anyways, so talking about airports and all the unique things that we've seen here. Obviously, a lot more airports get a lot more unique things. So somebody asked me about going to Charlotte, and we do go to Charlotte. And again, I told you guys the last time we went, because we went, I guess, too close together. Got a little not necessarily backlash from people, but a lot of people were just like, oh, American. And you know, I told you guys, we go down to Charlotte for the action, we stay here for the variety. So it's definitely different, right? Charlotte, we go there, again, not for the variety, because it is nothing but American Airlines mostly. But we do go down there for how busy they are. Dulles has a lot of variety, and that's one of the reasons why I like it. A lot of heavies, a lot of unique airlines, everything from Japan Airlines to KLM to Austrian to Swiss to ITA, all of the things. So just within a 4-hour drive is all of the variety we have. I wasn't here when it happened, but I was streaming that day. It happened well before. It was at like 6 a.m. so we weren't on the air yet. We didn't start that day till noon. Up to 335. Thank you guys for smashing the like button. Again, we've got one major plane left. There we go, UPS up on flight radar. Thank you guys. Again, thank you guys for all the help tonight with the updates. Again, I've taken small peeks at flight radar, but again, trying not to disrupt the service to the show. So we got Air Canada, this one coming from Toronto, I believe. Either Toronto or Montreal. Turn the jacket up just a little bit. Let me tell you, the other night, so Sunday, by the way, you know, if you guys watch Sunday's show, you know how cold it got and how windy it was on Sunday. When I left here, I barely could hold onto my laptop. My hand was so stiff from being cold. It was all I could do to put my laptop back in the bag. Tonight, nowhere near that, as far as my hands go. I was freezing Sunday evening when I left here. Absolutely cold. Again, I got the snow pants on tonight. I was anticipating it getting colder than it did. Looks like it's held out at about 47 degrees tonight. Wind is light, like 10 mile an hour. So no big deal there. Coming from Montreal. Yeah, had it not been for the wind, I probably would have been okay. I had the heated jacket on and turned on. I was ready to go. Just, man, it cut right through me. I also had, so I have some Wrangler, I think they're Wranglers. They're like khaki looking, but they've got they're fleece lined pants. I wear those on Sundays when it's really cold. Now, what was really funny about that is, you know, we did back-to-back shows, Saturday and Sunday. Saturday, I was out here in shorts and a t-shirt, living it up, enjoying it like it was springtime. And come the next day, it was cold. I think it was a high of 53 on Sunday. Yeah, unfortunately. I don't know that it's a dead pixel because I can change lenses and it's okay, I feel like. At night, when I take photographs and stuff, you don't see it. So I don't know what the deal is with that. Nope, no heated steering wheel, no heated seats. I drive a race car. Car's a 2019. I got no like adaptive cruise control, none of that safety crap. I even have 3 pedals in my car. Subaru. Yeah, Subaru wishes. No, I don't know. Subarus are nice. I almost bought an STI. I thought about buying an STI back when I was looking for a car. But I've been a Honda guy my entire life. I've owned other cars, don't get me wrong, but I've built, and we've talked about this time and time again on the show too, I've built plenty of different Hondas. You know, I used to be a car guy. I'm not too much anymore. Now I just want a car I can hop in and go. I don't want to build anything. I don't want to work on anything. I just want to get in it and go. Used to be a fantastic hobby of mine. I can't even tell you guys how many cars I've built. I only did 2 things to this one when I bought it, and that was full exhaust turbo back, and I lowered it. That's it. That's all I've done to it. That's probably all I'll ever do to it. Could probably do some bolt-ons and get, you know, a pretty decent amount of horsepower out of it, but I don't need all that. Car's fast enough. Got one sitting over there. I still love cars, don't get me wrong, but I don't have any desire to build anything. I've done, like I said, countless motor swaps. That bit retarded. I've done countless motor swaps. I've done all kinds of stuff, and it just, you know, I have a car at home that I haven't messed with in a couple years that I need to get back to work on. I don't. I am Alex. Mechanic by trade, unfortunately. All I ever wanted to do was work on cars as a kid. Now it's like, ugh, why did I do this? Why did I think this was a good idea? My whole growing up from the time I was 5 years old. Then I started doing it. Then I enjoyed it for a while, and now I'm just like, can't wait to get out of here. You know what I mean? Not that I will, but because again, I do love cars. I just don't have a passion, like I said, to build or work on. Put me in something fast and fun, I'm okay with it. Shoot, I've owned my car for 5 years. You know, wouldn't trade this thing for the world if I didn't have to. Going on 6 years. So another arrival. Yeah, see, I did that too. I sold a car, but I didn't. I didn't ever look for it again, and I made some harsh decisions that I really regret. I had one car that I built. I ordered an engine for it, got it from Canada. It came from Japan, but it came through Canada. Swapped the engine, transmission, full suspension swap. Painted part of this car, and I got mad and I ended up selling it over a $30 part. Trust me, yeah, frustrated by other people's cars, it really it can be really frustrating, man. Like, oh, there's one sitting down there. Please tell me that's UPS. Come on, don't be waiting until 9:45. I don't have time for that. Yeah, that's an American Eagle, isn't it? Is now a cow. Alright, well, if we're not going to have UPS departure before 9:45, probably end here at 9:30. We'll get these last couple of arrivals plus this departure here of an American Eagle. There's 2 arrivals our side. We'll try to hold out as long as we can. If I see beacons come on, obviously we'll stay for that UPS departure. Been a while since I've been out at the airport this late.
321 are at 200 at taxiway 0 close to takeoff. Echo Alpha Alpha, approved remains south of 23 left.
Babysit Miss Carolina.
I just moved south of 23 left. Bravo 25, turn right, Alpha, taxi Alpha Delta Juliet. Alpha Delta Juliet, to the ramp with you up 6 left.
Yeah, so the car, if I remember correctly, the car, where was that car built originally? I don't even remember where it was built originally, but the motor, I went through a company based in Canada that imported engines from Japan. And so that's how I got my hands on that. I like to say that engine came from Budweiser because I live down the street from a Budweiser distribution facility. And they delivered it to the distribution facility. Southwest, I went with Southwest, but we do have one already touching down here. 23 right. Oh, if he could stay at the house, maybe. So, Southwest touching down. Sorry, looking for beacons for UPS. Seems like UPS always likes to let us down this late at night. Used to do it with the MD-11 all the time. They would push it back to 11 o'clock. Used to be really annoying.
They are out there, I can tell. I'm going to give you a time. Let's see, 0253 at 56, but it's pretty wide open.
215 horsepower on there. I know, times have definitely changed. My current car has, how much did you say, 215? My current car has 100 more horsepower than that, and it's only a 4-cylinder. I don't remember what the torque numbers are on my car, but yeah, exactly 100 more than your Camaro. Ain't coming out till 10. All right, so we'll probably call it here about 9:30. Dude, there is nothing harder to work on than a German car. Not gonna lie. If you ever want to work on cars, work on like Japanese cars. They're easy to work on for the most part, some of them. Yeah, boats? Absolutely not. No, thank you. I also wouldn't want to be a diesel technician either. They make bank, but no thanks. Don't even get me started on like rotary engines and stuff. A friend of mine's dad, back in the day when we were kids, he had a I think it was an 81 RX-7, and he used to race it. He had somebody race it for him. He built and played around with the car. It was an 81 RX-7, and he used to race it for SCCA racing. Well, let's see. See ops flashing out down there. Neither one of the FedExes have moved. UPS is still hanging out down there with a twin diesel. No, I would not. No, I wouldn't even want to work on a tour bus or a regular bus, let alone a boat. I don't like confined spaces. And so for me, I've got really big hands too, so I don't like trying to maneuver nuts and bolts in teeny tiny places. As a matter of fact, a friend of mine that used to work at the dealership, I'd be like, hey, can you come here? I need your baby hands to help me with this bowl all the time. So it was, it was hilarious. Yep, I think it is. Let's look. What do we got? Anything good? We don't even have anything good to end on. What? Come on now. All right. Let's swing her on over here to the American, chilling on the hard stand. That's it. Gonna do it for us. Thank you guys for tuning in tonight. Welcome back to Wednesdays. We're going to try to keep this up. Again, it is wintertime. It's hard for me to, be out here in the cold in the wintertime. Granted, tonight I got lucky. Not too cold. I know the temperatures are dropping. Chance of snow coming up on Sunday. So make sure you guys tune in. Hopefully that forecast will last. And we will get some snow on Sunday. Again, I hope you guys have enjoyed tonight's broadcast. Hopefully we'll do it again next week. I know the temperatures are supposed to come down a significant amount for the next week or two. So again, we got lucky with that. Thank you to all the new subscribers. Thank you guys for smashing that like button. Over 330 likes. Again, wonderful. Glad you guys enjoyed the show. Glad you guys, for those of you who have never seen a night show from us, glad you guys enjoyed it. I know a lot of folks have been asking us to come back out here and do some nighttime spotting. So again, thank you guys and good night. I will see you all on Sunday. Hopefully we'll have some snow. Cross your fingers and cross your toes for some snow on Sunday. Night, everybody. Oh, hey, look, my cell phone's back. Nice. See you guys.